Hello, the doc is in and welcome back to another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 237. Alright, coming off of last week, we got the explanation. How did Gojo versus Sukuna end? We got KasHIMo basically learning there's no official name, but let's say I've heard the world splitter, space / I call it the existence cut. I feel like that just rolls off the tongue better, but use whatever you want to use. But nonetheless, Gojo is in half, he is dead. Sad story. But I think it's fine. Is what it is. Moving on from that though, at the end of this chapter, Big KasHIMo said, "It's my time to shine." And he's inbound. That's the end of that chapter. So, let's get into this chapter. Alright, so we start off, KasHIMo's still coming in, and as he's flying in at the speed of lightning, probably not, but he's coming in at the speed of lightning because it sounds cooler. He looks up. So they're incoming too. A block, a giant piece of we can't, there's no color, so you can assume it's ground, but a big block coming down from on high as you see snowflakes in one of the panels in the first page. The frozen star Rame is inbound for the battlefield as well. First off, let me just say, Arume never got this much drip as in name drip. They just look the same, still wearing the same robes, but name drip, the frozen star, I don't know if they used that epithet before, but if they haven't, they were like, oh, things are a little hot right now, so yeah, throw something on them. So I'm fucking with the frozen star. I'm fucking with it. But right, they're incoming. But who else is incoming? Hikari. He's like, hey, I made a promise that my I wouldn't say day one coworker. As coworker is most accurate because I wouldn't say they're friends. I don't feel like KasHIMo thinks of Hikari as a friend. My coworker KasHIMo, I told him you get this 1v1, so I can't let you intervene. And so Hikari comes in from even higher than Urame because she's like in orbit, well, not in orbit, but let's say in orbit. And so he's coming up from space, and she's like, all right, she whatever. They activate ice formation. Hikari activates domain expansion, and Hikari catches them. All right, so they're in the domain, but the ice block keeps falling, and as it gets closer and closer, it eventually starts melting, and Sukuna puts his hand up, and then something falls out of it, and then the whole block obviously melts, and that doesn't just dissipate, so there's like a huge rainfall. It doesn't mean that's a lot of ice / water. It comes down, it's like this huge pouring, and so KasHIMo notices like, oh, so all of that was just to deliver some little tool, and we get to see the gift that Yorozu made for Sukuna, a cursed tool called Kamutake. We'll fumble there, but basically, the gift was this tool. This is a tool that he used to have back in the day. If you see him in his true form, he has a spear and he has this dagger thing in one of his hands. Put the panel, the cover art up here to show you the thing. And basically how Yorozu made this is in similar manner to my, basically in death made a binding vow where in exchange for my life I make this cursed tool that has a special ability, and the special ability is lightning. And he strikes KasHIMo. He's basically and Sukuna's like, brings back old memories. But luckily for KasHIMo, he's the thunder god. Lightning doesn't do nothing to him. So after tanking the hit, he's basically like, Sukuna, did you earn the title of the strongest, or were you simply born as such? The classical question brought to you by Geto. Are you Gojo because you're the strongest? Or are you the strongest because you're Gojo? How does Sukuna answer? Gives us a little backstory. I was born cursed, unwanted, little wretch. That much I can say. And that's it. That is all he says. So we get a little bit of backstory. Basically, when he was a youngin, It was just him out here. But that's also not an answer to a question at all. That literally doesn't answer. Like, the question's about, like, oh, why are you strong? And he's basically like, well, nobody wanted me. Which, I mean, I guess is a kind of explanation, but not really. Proceeding on. Basically, KasHIMo's basically like, alright, I need you to explain. What really does it mean to be the strongest? Like, there's gotta be, like, a greater purpose. And if there's not a greater purpose, like, is that the purpose? For this to try to search for a greater purpose or whatever? And Sukuna's like, you and Gojo are just the same. Y'all got so many questions about being the strongest and, like, what it means, etc., etc. Y'all ask for too much. But, you know what? I got y'all. I'll teach you the answers that you want to know. And so he says, come at me, KasHIMo. Battle starts. KasHIMo comes in with the staff. They go back, do a little back and forth. Sukuna dodges backwards. Immediately. Curse technique release. Mythic Beast. Amber. The legendary technique that we were told can only be used once and was saved for one fight. Immediately. Sukuna's like, whoa, what was that? Bang! Right hook to the jaw. Sends Sukuna flying a little bit. He does 2 little backflips. Tries to slow himself down. KasHIMo takes a big gulp of air. Shoots out, and his mouth like changes. It's all curse energy. And then, bang! Just giant blast straight to the face. Followed by, you get a little explanation. Mythic Beast Amber transforms KasHIMo's body, rendering any phenomenon that can be created by electricity a weapon in his arsenal. So when they said, oh, Thunder God KasHIMo, like, obviously when we saw him fight Hikaru, we were like, damn, he got crazy lightning techniques. This is a true Thunder God. He's basically like, I have full control over lightning. We'll get a little bit more explanation about exactly what else this does in just a moment, right? But just on the precipice of, like, oh, I can shoot out any lightning attack I can think of. Well, yeah, it's pretty lightning gaudy. Going back to the fight though, KasHIMo. There was a distance between them. Sukuna got shot from a distance. KasHIMo closes the distance, palm to face, boom, another shot. Sukuna dodges out the way in time though. Followed by another hit to the face. Sends him flying again. And we get an explanation that basically what's happening here is that with this, I guess you could say pseudo transformation, I guess you could say his amp, basically KasHIMo's whole body is being supercharged by lightning. So his senses are supercharged, his reflexes are supercharged, his muscles are supercharged. Basically, lightning is literally flowing through him in the form of cursed energy. So he's able to shoot off lightning attacks willy-nilly. So previously he couldn't really just use lightning attacks. He had to charge them up, then shoot them. Now he can just blast them off. And he's faster, stronger, has better reflexes. Basically, this is like Kaioken. That's the best way to think of it, Dragon Ball. This is like the Kaioken. Or like the 8 gates from Naruto or so on. Like, it's just a straight up power up, and all his abilities are in it. So, after we get this explanation, we do find out that, as we kind of anticipated, the exchange for this kind of power up, that basically is just a no drawbacks power up, is that once this technique ends, he dies. Because he's supercharging his body with lightning. Like, he's basically like overclocking his body. And so once, things cool down again, there's going to be cost. In this case, his whole life. This is it. So, we gotta know how this fight's gonna end. I'm not gonna lie. But, I'm okay with that, because this is gonna look cool. I already can tell KasHIMo's about to go crazy. So after this whole explanation blurb, lightning ball, straight to Sukuna. Big explosion. Followed by, apart from reverse curse technique, Sukuna has a method of restoring his body. One he can only use a single time. A method he had been intentionally suspending this whole time. Resuming his transformation through means of incarnation. true form Sukuna has appeared. And so, the true fight against the King of Curses begins. That's not what it says in the thing. I just add that little flavor. End of chapter. No break. Good setup chapter. Great setup chapter, really. Like I said, we kind of got a sense of how this fight's going to end. Once KasHIMo runs out of energy, he loses. Period. That's just a fact. Either he takes out Sukuna, which, I mean, he wasn't going to take out Sukuna, but either he takes out Sukuna and he dies too, or what's it called? Sukuna last out KasHIMo or just kills him, which either one is really very feasible. But I'm definitely interested to see how it goes. I do also get the sense that KasHIMo is definitely going to get some crazy hits off, just based on the fact that, like, as soon as he used his ability, Sukuna kind of was put on the back foot and was just getting blasted and punched and stuff. So, not to say that I don't think that Sukuna can keep up, but I definitely get the sense that this is going to be like, kind of like Gojo. This is going to be a swan song for KasHIMo, where he's going to be showing all of his best, him at his peak, so that then we can argue about where KasHIMo lands in the power scale accurately, and then he will die. Which is fine by me. As long as he gets, like, one, like, crazy feat, like, I don't know, like, Sukuna got the dagger straight to his head, and then, instead of taking the hit, he, like, I don't know, turns into full electricity, and then, I don't know, shocks Sukuna or something. There's plenty of things you could do with the ability that he has, since it's basically saying he's breaking down himself with curse energy. You know, it could get interesting. So that's it on that part. Sukuna true form. People were talking about it. People were saying that was going to happen. I didn't believe them. I was a hater. Not a hater in the traditional sense of, like, I hate it, but, like, more like a, I don't think so. But if you say so. Well, I was wrong. True form Sukuna. You got the weird eye face thing. We'll probably get an explanation for that. But yeah, full form. Even the stomach mouth. You look at the picture, they got the stomach mouth there. So something's going on with that mouth. We're definitely gonna see someone get ate up. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be KasHIMo or somebody else, but someone's getting bitten for sure. Interesting that we got the. It seems like we're kind of just slowly gonna recreating, like, prime Sukuna, which is interesting because he got the first curse tool, but he gets a spear, and then you start seeing him use his other techniques. I mean, hey, I'm here for it. No sight of Gojo, so reincarnation / revival up in the air. No Yuta, no Yuji, no Shoko, nobody. We didn't see anybody else besides KasHIMo and Hikari. Hikari versus Rame. Interesting fight. Wouldn't have expected it, but I definitely see this being interesting. Yeah, it's just an odd matchup. It's not something I considered, but I like it. I guess we'll see how KasHIMo and Sukuna goes down first. Maybe in between, we see Hikari versus Rame. And post that fight, I think we'll see Yuji and Yuta versus Sukuna, or something along those lines. I feel like that's the direction where this fight will go. I feel like, and probably Maki too. I feel like Yuta, Maki, and Yuji are specifically invested in the fact that Gojo was killed, and therefore will want to specifically fight Sukuna. So, looking forward to that. And that's basically it for this chapter. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. Mostly set up, nothing too crazy going on. But I like where this direction we're going in. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thumbs out. Peace.
Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and watch the videos on the right. Other than that, the doc is out. Bye.